in big doo-doo this time because we're still going to be talking about the Star Wars prequels. I am H.P. Gibson along with
RT Mack. And just real quick, in case you haven't noticed, we finally brought in the director's chairs.
Yes, these are wonderful. They feel so good.
Yep, very comfortable. They even have cup holders. Unfortunately, these incredibly big water bottles that I got us won't fit, but still, they get the job done. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, and the level is just low enough to catch all our little Star Wars stuff here, and this is great, man. Thank you for joining us on part 2 of talking about the Star Wars films.
And here we go with the prequels that a lot of people, do not like. They constantly criticize George Lucas, but we will point out things that we liked, which will hopefully not change completely people's perceptions about the prequels,
but
at least give them a bit more of a break.
Yeah, backtracking just a little bit, we talked about the original trilogy. We talked about some of the things that he did to the original trilogy, like the special editions. The only thing that was good about the special editions at that time was Taco Bell had a real nice marketing thing with Star Wars at that time. So because they remember the Star Wars cups, and they had a Mace Windu head, they had a Darth Maul head, and had a Yoda head for the cups and everything, and it just gave me an excuse to eat lots of tacos and celebrate Star Wars.
Well, let's start with Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And one of the great things about that is Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi's master, and Ewan McGregor as a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. They were fantastic together.
Those were great characters. It started off good. It started off great. It was when they got down to Naboo that I. Let's go there. Let's stay on that.
Well, yeah. Like basically, we see how Obi-Wan was like before he became a hermit.
That was fantastic.
On a desert planet, we see how badass he truly was when he was young.
Right.
Basically, the two are sent as kind of like negotiators.
Ambassadors.
Ambassadors because, well, the dictatorship is starting to find its base. It's starting to build. And you have separatist leaders that they're trying to negotiate with, and the Emperor, who always is the one who starts everything.
The Trade Federation, who was stopping food flow to Naboo, and it was causing problems. People were starving and getting sick and everything, and so they sent the Jedi to go up there and say, "Hey, what the heck are you guys doing?"
But once they were made, they tried taking them out, and that wasn't happening. So when they had to, when they crashed on Naboo, we meet probably the most universally hated character in any film anywhere. And
let's not blame the actor. Leave Ahmed Best alone. He was just a guy who was asked to be in a Star Wars film. If somebody asked you to be in a Star Wars film and paid you to play a character, even though it would turn out to be one of the most hated characters in the world, don't blame the actor. The actor was just hired to act. Okay, we're not big fans of Jar Jar Binks, but he's still canon, and there's nothing we can do about it.
And you know what? Listen, if they would have paid me however amount of money to play that character, I would have done it. Daddy's got bills.
Exactly.
Daddy likes to have a roof over his head.
Hello.
So, and you know what? I can't even blame it too much on George Lucas because this was his vision.
Exactly.
Because he can't do everybody else's vision because everybody else has their own conflicting way of how they want the story to go. And in the end, you got to do the movie that you want.
I'm totally a George Lucas supporter. You see, I'm wearing the George Lucas shirt, right? So,
so yeah, we had Jar Jar Binks, and you know what? Him aside, the whole race of Gungans, they played a major part in the movie.
They were a part of it even said that that the planet Naboo, there is a symbiote circle with the Gungans and the people of the planet of Naboo.
And they participated, helping out greatly in the final battle. And in Phantom Menace, we see the introduction of Anakin Skywalker, future Darth Vader. And I feel really sorry for the kid who played him because he grew up to have problems with the law.
Yeah.
You know, and he's actually grown up to hate Star Wars.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty sad because
it's mostly because of the people that really attack him online.
The fans, these so-called fans. Let's talk about them for a second.
Yep.
You guys did not create Star Wars, okay? You guys did not make the movie. There's a stark difference between the Star Wars fans of your generation and the Star Wars fans of that generation, because there's a strong generation of people that did enjoy the prequels.
And you know what? In the end, he was just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, lay off of him.
Yeah.
Like, stop harassing him so much, even as an adult, because he was hired to do a job like the guy who played Jar Jar Binks.
Yep.
And you know what? For what it's worth, he did show a lot of great things about Anakin Skywalker, about how great of a pilot he is,
Mm-hmm.
and how strong with the Force he is,
Mm-hmm.
because Qui-Gon could see it.
Right.
Qui-Gon could see it. Even Yoda and Mace Windu, the two top masters, couldn't even see it.
Right.
You know, early on. Qui-Gon did. So
yeah, if you could look past the acting and the performance and look at the stories for what they were, then you'll be able to appreciate the prequels a lot better.
And we introduce, you know, Luke and Leia's mother, Padme,
Mm-hmm.
who, yes, there's an age difference.
Yeah.
But come on, how many guys out there are attracted to older women?
Right.
This guy. So you can't even get on them about that.
Who was very well played by Natalie Portman, who was not bad to look at.
Exactly.
Cutie. Yeah.
And we see the Emperor, you know, what he did behind the scenes. We actually see him play kind of a dual role.
Right.
So it's like he's manipulating everybody.
Okay, the Emperor Palpatine was played by, why does his name escape me now? Grrr. Okay, his name is going to go right there. Bam!
It's okay. It's okay because it was the same guy who did Return of the Jedi, so it was great to have him back.
Right.
Because nobody could play like him.
Right.
So now we move on to Attack of the Clones, Episode 2.
Episode 2, yeah.
Yes, because after Qui-Gon is killed by Darth Maul, the man with the double red lightsaber,
epically portrayed by Mr. Ray Park, but his voice was played by somebody else.
His voice may have been played by somebody else, but the live-action guy also played Toad in the first X-Men movie.
Ray Park is like the geek fanboy actor, because not only did he play Darth Maul, he also played Toad, of course, and he played, and I don't think anybody else could have done him better, Snake Eyes.
Oh. But with Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan has now become Anakin's master.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so far, the first 10 years, things seem to be going okay. Mm-hmm. They have a good big brother, little brother relationship, at times a father-son relationship. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they care about each other, even if they get on each other's nerves at times. Right. Especially with Anakin's recklessness. Mm-hmm. You know, he went through a lot of stuff early on, so we can't blame him for that kind of messing him up mentally.
We also cannot forget about the one Jedi that could only be as close to Yoda as he was in power and in ability, the one and only Mr. Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And I'm going to tell you something, none of the prequel films really showed Mace Windu the way he truly was. And I'm going to tell you, if you've ever played Star Wars Jedi Battles for the PlayStation, I believe it was the PlayStation or PlayStation 1, he had a move where he could throw the lightsaber and it would just rotate around him and knock out everybody. And the first Clone Wars animated series, not the CGI one, the 2D animated one, where he took on an entire armada of battle droids, best ever.
And you know what? Samuel Jackson requested to have his own color that nobody else had. That's why it came out purple. Mm-hmm. You could make the argument that, you know, his race and the color purple, a little...
Mara Jade's blade was purple. That rest my case.
Okay, I mean, you can make the argument of racism in there. I mean,
purple here, pimp.
Phantom Menace was accused of racism too.
Yeah, because they thought that Jar Jar Binks, the way he spoke and the way he talked and the way he looked, was making fun of black folks. Honestly, people, I did not freaking see that. I did not see that. Maybe I'm dumb, but I did not see that. And why the heck would he do something racist? His wife is black. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody wants to be a social warrior. Chill.
Well, they do that without having all the facts.
Yeah, exactly.
So, to get back on track, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
We see Qui-Gon Jinn's master, played by the late... Christopher Lee. Yeah, Darth Tyrannus. Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku.
Count Dooku, yes.
And now, he tries to convert Obi-Wan to the dark side.
Not happening.
Yeah, but it kind of seemed like Count Dooku was genuinely, wanting Obi-Wan to fight alongside him because he trusted Qui-Gon. He loved him like a son. Mm-hmm. So he trusted his judgment with Obi-Wan.
Right.
And he saw Obi-Wan's potential.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course Obi-Wan can never be converted.
Right.
He's too loyal for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. I will admit, a little too robotic with his performance. Doesn't seem believable.
I believe, I don't blame the performance on him. I blame the I hate to say it, I love George, I love you, but I just think that was just a little bit poor direction. I believe that if Hayden Christensen was allowed to act, he would have done a better job.
You know what it is? I love George Lucas too, but he's not a writer. I mean, the stuff he has tried to write hasn't been received well. Yeah. Because somebody else wrote Empire Strikes Back, and that's considered the greatest Star Wars film.
Lance Kasdan.
So, anyway, he sees Padme again after 10 years, and she's a little creeped out by his stalker eyes. Who wouldn't be? But eventually, his good looks get to her, and the fact that they have history. And you know what? He's assigned to be her bodyguard, so they spend a lot of time together. There's gonna be certain kind of tension and chemistry. So, but
good points. One of the good points of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, and one of the other good points, even though it's really messed up, is when Anakin's having nightmares about his mother, so they fly to Tatooine.
Right.
We find out that she's been not only freed and married, but kidnapped.
Right.
Kidnapped, and when he sees what the Sand People have done to her.
Yeah.
It's one of the darkest periods in Star Wars.
And I'm going to tell you, it's probably one of the best scenes in Attack of the Clones. When we finally see the uncontrolled rage of Anakin Skywalker.
And how precise he is with his movements. I mean, he was beheading people like crazy.
Yeah, lost it.
And his rage was so powerful, Yoda felt it from light years away. Mm-hmm. So... that I gotta give a lot of credit to Hayden Christensen. Fantastic. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He's better when no words are spoken. Right. You just see that look in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's all he needed.
But, Obi-Wan tracks down Dooku but gets captured because they find out that there was a clone army being...
the clone army. Obi-Wan versus Boba Fett's dad, Jango Fett.
I'm just checking the time. We got 15 minutes.
Yeah, because I'm so into the Star Wars films. It's easy. We're so into the Star Wars films that it's easy to go over time. So we got to keep an eye on the time.
So basically, when Obi-Wan gets captured, they find, and Anakin and Padme find out. That they're gonna fly to rescue him. And this is where Padme shows how independent and strong she is. Yep. Because she puts Anakin in his place.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go rescue him. Like, if you want to keep protecting me, you can come with me.
And he saw that little grin on his face because I think he knew that he wanted to go down there and kick some ass. So
and also he saw that fire in her eyes. Yeah. So That would make any man smile.
Yeah.
So basically, Yoda goes down to the planet that they're making the clones at to find out more about them because they're going to have to face Dooku.
Right.
So they're in the Colosseum, a Roman type Colosseum.
Oh yeah, the other scene that I adore.
My favorite scene. When
the army of Jedi come out for the first time, and actually, to tell you the truth, in spite of how people felt about Attack of the Clones, Attack of the Clones wasn't really well received either. But I'm going to catch a lot of you out there. The scene, the moment when all the Jedi came in and attacked, you guys cheered. I heard you. Because
at first you see the droids running towards them, and then all of a sudden you see dozens of Jedi with their lightsabers. And the thing is, it started with Mace Windu holding his saber to Count Dooku's throat. Mm-hmm. Jango tried to fire at him, but he wasn't going to get hit.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get hit.
But, Obi-Wan and Anakin and Padme get freed. Mm-hmm. They both get new sabers. Mm-hmm. They join in the fight, and my God, it's just...
you saw the Jedi in full form.
And then Mace Windu cutting off the head of Jango Fett. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of beheadings in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Especially in that one movie. And Boba grabs his father's helmet, which is a prelude to Boba Fett himself.
Mm-hmm. Hating the Jedi forever.
And him growing up to be probably the greatest assassin in Star Wars history.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then we go to the final saber duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku, but they're a little outclassed.
Yeah.
But then came one of my other favorite scenes in the movie, Yoda.
The very first time that we saw Yoda actually rocking, and once again, I'm going to catch all of you prequel haters out there, when the moment Yoda lit his lightsaber, it was like, ah! You guys went berserk.
In a good way.
Yes.
You loved it.
You loved it.
Don't try and hide it.
Don't hate.
So, and you know what? Funny thing, considering this was also the second movie, the prequels, it was just like the second movie of the original.
Yeah.
A Skywalker got his hand cut off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is it with second movies and people getting their hands cut off?
Yeah.
So.
And he got it replaced.
He got it replaced, and in the end, Anakin and Padme get married in secret. Mm-hmm. And also, they say the Clone Wars have just started. And here now we go to Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. We have got less than 12 minutes, so we gotta punch through this.
Right.
We see Anakin still having nightmares now about his wife dying in labor. Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan is now a general. Yep. And a Jedi Master. Mm-hmm. The Emperor or... Chancellor Palpatine has manipulated Anakin for so many years to the point that when Anakin speaks, you hear the Chancellor. Yes. So, to kind of spy on the Chancellor, they allow Anakin to sit on the Jedi Council, but not
make him a master, and that pissed him off.
Big time.
Big time.
It was wow. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't blame him for being upset. Because that should have been a red flag right there. Yep. How you gonna be on the council but not a master? Exactly. Very weird. Mm-hmm. And the stuff that happens with Execute Order 66. But we'll get to that first. Here's the thing. When Palpatine, talks to him about that Sith Lord.
Yeah. Darth Plagueis the Wise.
That should have been another red flag for Anakin. Mm-hmm. But no. It has to be when Palpatine flat out says he knows the ways to the dark side. Mm-hmm. That's when it finally clicks. And I'm sorry, Anakin, you were an idiot. You should have recognized it long before. Yeah. When he finally realizes that he's the Sith Lord they've been chasing after, he tells Mace Windu, and he goes to take a few masters to take him down. But I'm sorry, those masters went down like total punks.
Kit Fisto. I loved Kit Fisto.
How do you go down by amateur strikes? Not even blocking.
That particular fight scene, should have been way better than that. These are Jedi, and this guy, I really think that fight scene should have been a little bit more vicious than what it was.
Better choreographed.
Way better choreographed.
But you know what? Mace had his moment. Yeah. Because Palpatine tried to do the Force lightning on him after he lost his lightsaber. And Mace blocked it with his lightsaber, redirected it down to his face, and that's how he became all wrinkly and ugly. Uglier. So yeah, that's when Anakin comes in, and he can't let him kill him.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Cuts off Mace's arm.
Oh.
What is it with arm cutting?
I have no idea. I guess that's the first place that they teach them to strike, in order to defend themselves.
I guess
they don't really want to kill anybody, but just disable them.
But yeah, Mace dies.
Rumor has it that Mace is still alive. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's when he gets the name Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And they execute Order 66, which, again, Jedi Masters going down like total punks in certain cases.
And when he went to the Jedi Temple, and the younglings walked up to him and says, "Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?" And then he ignited that lightsaber, and when he did, and the kid backed up, I was like, whoa. I was like, uh-oh.
Again, no words need to be spoken. Hayden Christensen is a lot better when he's just a strong, silent type.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, my first thought through that is like, wait a minute, why are you igniting your lightsaber? The kid called you master.
Mm-hmm.
The kids think of you as a master, not the adults.
Yeah.
So why not take the kids with you?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well,
you just killed your only fan base.
He got the order from the Emperor, just eliminate him and show no mercy.
And then going to the double final fights. Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Yoda versus the Emperor, and they kept going back and forth between them.
Yeah.
It was epic.
It was epic. Probably one of the greatest fight scenes in the Star Wars films.
And Yoda, unfortunately, their clash of powers pushes him and injures him.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to
retreat.
He had to retreat.
Yeah.
Call Leia's adopted father,
Bail Organa, played by what was his name?
Is it gonna be in the screen also?
It's gonna be in the screen also. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
There are so many names that we can't remember all of them.
Yeah, Bail Organa was played by. Come on, man. Yeah. It's right there. Okay.
But Anakin, he loses by getting his leg.
Jimmy Smits. See, I didn't have to put it down there. You don't do it, Harold. You're good. You're alright.
But it's okay. But Anakin,
right?
He couldn't jump high enough, so he got his legs cut off.
Yep. Like, hey, listen, I got the high ground. Hey.
It's a little anticlimactic, though. You went through all that, and just because you couldn't jump high enough, or you shouldn't even have jumped that far.
Right.
Just jump halfway through, and then you could just kept going, but he didn't.
Well,
he was reckless.
It had to happen.
But yeah, he's still alive amazingly after igniting into flames. After all that, so the Emperor comes, patches him up with machines, becoming Darth Vader, and Padme gives birth to twin boy and girl.
Called them Luke and Leia,
and they say separate the children.
Yep.
A little messed up because they're never going to grow up together.
Right.
So Leia goes with Senator Organa, and Luke goes to his aunt and uncle on Tatooine.
Yep. Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen.
Yoda goes into exile
on Dagobah.
And Obi-Wan watches over him on Tatooine as Ben.
Yep.
The old hermit. Oh, we got a good amount of time left, about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, how about we take these 4 or 5 minutes to, justify the prequels a little more?
Okay, I will justify the prequels as in, the first one, Phantom Menace, the end battle scene, and of course the pod race scene. The pod race scene was a beautiful thing to see on the big screen. I could have done without the announcers doing like this, but and
we saw Jabba the Hutt again.
Yeah, we saw Jabba. Jabba the Hutt was like all throughout, man.
And Attack of the Clones, the Colosseum.
The Colosseum scene and the end battle scene with Yoda, yes.
Revenge of the Sith, we saw the death of Count Dooku by Anakin's hands. Again, beheading.
Right.
He just loves taking people's heads off. And of course, the Jedi being all but exterminated.
Yeah.
And we see our last hope, the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. That was rough. That was rough. I would say that out of all the films, personally, this is Harold B. Gibson talking, not anybody else. This is Harold B. Gibson talking. Revenge of the Sith was probably the best.
Even if the dialogue written by George Lucas alone, the man cannot write a love scene to save his life.
Yeah.
It sounds too fake and phony.
Mm-hmm.
But we love you, George. The action was great.
That's why I wore your shirt, man. This is the George Lucas shirt. I support you, George. Because without you, we wouldn't have this.
And you know what? We're going to go into the sequel trilogy next.
Yeah.
Which by this point, George Lucas had sold Lucasfilm to Disney for $4 billion.
In 2012 to Disney.
And Disney had to go all out to justify their $4 billion investment. And, you know, let's just say no pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
But, yeah.
I can't wait to talk about it. So, until next time, we're going to see you on part 3, the final chapter of H&R Movie Talk, talking about the Star Wars films. See you next time.
Later.
I suggest a new strategy, Archon.
Only different in your mind.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
A Jedi uses the Force.
This is the weapon of the Jedi. The Force will be with you.